Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we're going to be looking at some more new cards that got revealed. Well, in fact, the remaining cards that got revealed in the Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia set. So we got some new Mega Evolution cards to look at, a Mega Manectric again, and we have a new Mega Abomasnow, which we didn't get during the X and Y era, and we even got some brand new trainer cards revealed, some of which, not gonna lie, look kind of broken. I'm surprised Pokemon decided to print some of these, especially as one of them is like a soft reprint of an old, powerful stadium card from back in the day. Now, before we do get in the video, if y'all are new here to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. And yeah, I'll leave a link to Pokebeach down below if you want to go check out the cards for yourself. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of these new cards that got revealed? All right, so let's get into it here. So yeah, we got the entirety of the Mega Brave set revealed. So we just got to go scroll through here and find any cards we haven't read yet. So as we have this new Exeggutor here with the attack of Wood Stomp that is 60 plus 30 more damage for each grass energy on this Pokemon. I mean, it's your generic stage 1 grass attacker. It doesn't do anything too special. New Celebi, we already looked at that. There's a new Shiftry line here that got revealed here. Got Gale Return, flip a coin of head, shuffle one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards into their deck. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's on a coin flip, though, which is kind of risky, right? There's no way to, like, reflip it, which makes it a bit worse. Shiftry's also a stage 2. It'd be pretty funny to use this against, like, Grimmsnarl or Dragapult and put them back in the deck, but I think overall, probably a little mediocre, but who knows? All right. Yeah, we got the Mega Camerupt. We already looked at that. It's new Volcanion here. It's got the attack Backfire that does 130 damage. You put 2 Fire Energy, attach it into your hand. I mean, it's a fine fire-type attacker. I don't really think it's going to go in any decks. Like, I don't think Ho-Oh Armor Rouge will probably play it as a one-prizer. There's probably just better options. Like, Chi-Yu is probably better. The Paldean Tauros might even be better than the Volcanion that we've been seeing. Cinderace Slime we've looked at. It's pretty busted. We have a brand new Gimmighoul to put in Goldengo. 7 HP, does 10 damage. Yeah. All right, moving on. We got a new Sandslash here with the Sand attack, 50 damage for 2 colors. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to attack, your opponent flips a coin, and if tails, the attack will do nothing. Nothing really too special there either on this attack, but that's fine. Fighting Pokemon do get a lot of support in this set. There is a new item card that also got revealed that does support the fighting Pokemon. We do have a new baby Pokemon revealed here with the Tyrogue, which has an attack with no energy, Bam Bam Bash, 10 damage, you flip a coin until you get tails, and does 30 damage for each head, which is actually kind of powerful. It's not as maybe strong as the old Tyrogue we used to have way back in the HCSS era, but this Tyrogue is like decent. I mean, this attack could do some damage if you actually flip a bunch of heads. I don't think it's worth playing over like Cleffa or Budew, though, anyways. I think the Pichu is even stronger than the Tyrogue, but the Tyrogue is kind of funny. Maybe you can randomly do some big damage out of nowhere with it. I don't know. It's like not the worst baby Pokemon out of the bunch, but it's like probably like not going to see much play. It doesn't set up your board like Budew and stuff does, right? So, new Hariyama we've looked at already. We've seen this Lunatone. There's new Solrock. So this is a Solrock that goes with the Lunatone, which has that ability where if you have a Solrock in play, you can discard a fight energy from your hand to draw 3 cards. The Solrock here has the attack Cosmo Beam for 1 fighting, does 70 damage. If you don't have any Lunatone on your bench, this attack will do nothing, and it's not affected by weakness or resistance. So, not a bad attack. I mean, in all honesty, if you can get turn 1 Solrock off, theoretically you can knock out little basic Pokemon like Dreepies and Charmanders and Ralts and stuff. So, it's not a bad attacker. Has the potential to knock out a little Pokemon early on, and then you have the draw support of the Lunatone. And I guess you can increase the damage of this with the Power Tablet fighting card that we're getting, right? So there's that. Mega Lucario, I've already seen. Seen the Marshadow. New Stone Journer here. It's got the attack Stone Kick, 20 damage, does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and then Boundless Power does 140 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use any attacks. Kind of mid. Don't think the Stone Journer is very good. 140 damage, just, yeah, not very good. Doesn't do enough. New Garganacl was revealed here, though, with the ability Power Assault. Attacks used by your fighting Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Kind of a strong ability. You can really make your fighting Pokemon do a lot of damage. Combine this Garganacl with the new Power Tablet for fighting Pokemon, and they're actually, pardon me, going to be hitting some pretty dangerous numbers, which is quite powerful. So, who knows? Maybe this card could actually be good in a fighting deck. It is a stage 2, though, at the end of the day, but there's other Garganacl cards in the format. There's one that heals you, and there's one that attaches energy and heals at the same time, so it does have some decent support. And there's, of course, the Garganacl EX you can play this with, which is also pretty cool. So maybe this card could see some play in a fighting deck. Who knows? It is a stage 2, which I think at the end of the day does hold it back. Ironically, you could play this in Mamoswine, so Mamoswine can do more damage, which is cool. All right, new Crawdont here. We haven't had a good Crawdont card in a while. This one's got the attack Vengeful Scissors for 2 dark and a colorless, does 1/3 damage. If this Pokemon has any damage on it, the attack can be used for a single dark energy instead. So, not a bad attack. 1 for 130 isn't anything to write home about, but isn't terrible considering it only needs 1 energy. Being a dark type is somewhat relevant versus Gardevoir, though Crawdont can't one-shot a Gardevoir unless there's a Brave Bangle on it. So if you can find a way to get damage on this thing really easily with, like, I don't know, like Team Rocket's Venture Bomb or something, then put a Brave Bangle on your Crawdont, you could one-shot a Gardevoir EX for a single energy, which is cool. We've seen the Mega Absol. We did get a new Spiritomb. Infamously, Tomb's been pretty good. This one's got the ability where whenever your active dark Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you put 1 damage counter on the attacking Pokemon. And then it's got Mountain Breaker, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So this ability is kind of cool in a dark deck. You can put on more damage on your opponent's attacking Pokemon. Technically, with the ability, depending on how it works out, maybe the ability can take the knockout on your opponent's Pokemon while they attack you, which is cool. I think this ability does stack, it looks like, so you can have multiple Spiritombs in play and really punish your opponent for attacking into you. I don't know, though, what dark deck would really play this Spiritomb, though. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like, Roaring Moon's probably not going to play this. I don't know, like, what, the only deck maybe would be, like, Okidogi? EX, maybe? I don't know. There's other dark types in the meta. Maybe Mega Absol will play this. I guess this card does synergize nicely with Mega Absol's Doom Period attack, so maybe there is some synergy there. This card does seem kind of decent, though it is 80 HP basic, so can't pop in for it, which could be relevant. New Yveltal with Clutch. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can retreat, and then Dark Feather, 110 damage. Pretty basic card, nothing too crazy there. New Thievul here with Greedy Hunt. You may draw cards, you have 6 in your hand, and then Pitchback Flangs for 60, pretty mid 2. We got a brand new Graphia here with Miracle Paint for a dark and a colorless. Does 90 damage. You flip a coin. If heads, choose a special condition. Your opponent's active is now affected by that special condition, which is fine, I guess. You can paralyze your opponent, but nothing crazy to write home about, as it is on a coin flip, so it is kind of mediocre overall. This new Steelix here with the attack Welcoming Tail for 2 colorless energy. Does 40 damage. If you have exactly 6 prize cards remaining, this attack does 200 more damage. So that's kind of crazy, actually. So it's at the beginning of the game is when this attack will actually be relevant, but you can do some pretty big damage. I guess if you're playing, like, there's a Steelix in the format that does, what, 1 metal energy, does 130 damage, and 30 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. I guess you could play that Steelix with this Steelix, use this Steelix early on for a big damage hit. I mean, 240 isn't bad. You're knocking out a lot of the big basics like Iron Hands and Raging Bolt. With a Brave Bangle, you're knocking out Goldengos and stuff, which is kind of cool. So maybe this could be good with the other Steelix as like an early game attacker. There's Mawile. We've seen Mega Mawile already. New Dialga with Chrono Burst. Does 80 damage. You may shuffle all energy from this Pokemon in your deck to do 80 more damage. Kind of mediocre. I mean, you can play this with Metang, I guess. You can recover the energy technically, but 160 just doesn't do enough, I don't think. Seen the new Tinkaton line in the last video. We got a brand new Goldengo. Will this be good in the actual Goldengo deck? Well, let's see. It's got the attack. All you can grab, flip a coin, take a tail, search deck for a number of cards up to the number of heads, put them in your hand. And then you got the attack, speed attack for 100 damage. Don't think this Goldengo is going to be very good in Goldengo EX. I mean, the first attack technically has synergy, but, like, I don't think you're going to want to waste a Gimme Ghoul slot just to do that. You know what I mean? So, pretty mid Goldengo. Doesn't really fix the mirror or anything, which is what I was looking out for. Just kind of a mid card, unfortunately. We've got a new Fearow here. Repeating drill. You flip 5 coins to do 30 for each heads. Pretty devious. New Miltank. Flip 2 coins to both their heads. Heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. I mean, just there's no way to reflip, right? It's just kind of a risky attack to do. New Gumshoes here with the ability Gather Evidence. Once you're in turn, you may use the ability Switch a card from your hand with the top of your deck. All right, look at that. So this card looks like it's a reprint of the Oranguru with Primate Wisdom. Now, Primate Wisdom was a very good ability because it was on a basic. It was in a meta where everyone spammed Marnie versus you. This card does kind of do something similar where, I mean, it's literally the same thing. You take a card from your hand, you put it on top of your deck, and then you swap it. So, like, technically, you still kind of stack your deck. You're just getting an extra card. So it's kind of like you're almost drawing a card in a way, right? So this ability is actually not bad. Now, is it better than, like, Dracloak for draw. Not really. Like, this isn't really the greatest ability. If this was on a basic, I could see this Gumshoos being good, but who knows? Maybe the ability will be good. Though, keep in mind, when Iono does rotate, this card's value will decrease. This card seems okay versus Iono, right? Because you can stack a card on top of your deck. Like, if you want to get Iono into boss or research, you can use the ability to put it on top. The only problem with this card is it's a stage 1 Pokemon, which maybe holds it back, because you have to, like, waste a turn evolving it. But the ability is pretty good. All right, new item card, Iron Defender. During your opponent's next turn, all of your metal Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon, which seems kind of crazy. So you just play this card and take 30 less damage, which is kind of cool. I mean, metal Pokemon are pretty good. I don't know how good this will be with stuff like Goldengo, though. Like, maybe this is better in a deck like Archaladon. In Goldengo, like, you're already a pretty awkward Pokemon to KO. I don't think Goldengo's going to play this card, obviously. Maybe it will play it, but probably not. But I can see something like Archaladon playing it, because then you can make Archaladon even more difficult to one-shot. Could be actually more useful into stuff like Charizard and whatnot. So who knows? This could be good even with like Copperajah EX or any other metal deck that comes out. But I could see this maybe being good within Archaladon. I don't think Goldengo would play it. It's not a bad item, though, for sure. And the more metal Pokemon that come out over the years, the stronger this card might become. We got the new Premium Power Pro, the Fighting Power Tablet, and then we got another fighting support card here, the Fighting Gong. Search your deck for a basic fighting Pokemon or a basic fight energy, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it looks like you can only grab one of the two cards, not both, obviously, but this trainer card is kind of good. It reminds me a lot of the Mysterious Treasure item card from back in the day, where you would use it. You can either get, was it like a basic Psychic or a basic Dragon Pokemon or something? This card is kind of cool because you can get a basic Pokemon or a basic energy in that regard. I like it. I think it's cool. Definitely a strong card for fighting decks because it can get any basic fighting Pokemon, not just the, low HP guys like a Poffin can get you. So this can get you, some pretty good stuff. It can get you EX Pokemon, which is really strong. And you can even get an energy if you really wanted to get that instead. You can treat it as like a mini Earthen Vessel. So, yeah, not a bad card. I think this is going to be great for fighting decks, and it's nice that Pokemon gave fighting some support with the Gong and the Premium Power Pro. Some pretty good upgrades for fighting. So we might see fighting come back in the forefront. This definitely will be good with the Mega Lucario for sure. We have this Repel card. Your opponent switches are active with one of their bench Pokemon. It's a reprint from back in the day. Repel's okay. Iron Bundle on an item's like fine, but I feel like Iron Bundle's just a better card to play because I don't think this card has too much value. Though, keep in mind, Boss is rotating at some point, it looks like, so maybe this card will be good if that card rotates. Who knows? All right, this is a crazy card. Lieutenant Surge's Dealings. Ask your opponent if both players may take a prize card. If yes, both players draw a prize card. If no, you draw 4 cards. All right. I guess both players draw 4 cards, actually, it states. But, yeah, this card is kind of ridiculous. It's literally a supporter that has the ability to give both players the ability to take a prize. Technically speaking, you can play this card at the end of the game if you're at 1 prize, and your opponent is forced to say no. Because they say yes, they just lose. Unless your opponent's, like, going to do that. It's like, all right, you know what? Sure, man, have the win. But, yeah, this card is pretty funny. I actually don't think it's, like, super good, because both players are taking a prize. So you are also helping your opponent. It's kind of like using Dusknoir in that regards, where you're giving your opponent the free prize to potentially also take a prize. This card is kind of funny, though. It can turn into a draw supporter, because I feel like a lot of the time the opponent will say no, depending on the situation, depending on the board state, obviously. Like, if your board is more well-developed than their board is, they're probably going to say no. This card is very niche. It's weird. Like, I don't think it's going to see any play, but, like, you never know. A card this weird definitely could see a bit of play, but I just don't think it's, like, going to see play. I don't know, man. It's tough. What do you think? What do you think on this card? Because this card is technically very powerful. Because, like, I don't think we've seen a supporter card before ever give the ability to give prizes like that. It's kind of bizarre. Like, there's stuff like Briar in the meta where it lets you take an extra prize at some point, but, like, this card just flat out, like, allows you to potentially take a prize card for free if your opponent agrees to it, which is crazy. So, definitely a pretty interesting supporter. I don't know how good it is, but it seems kind of broken for sure. All right, Lily's Determination we've already seen. Obviously a very powerful draw supporter, which I'm excited to come out. Then we have a new Stadium and Dangerous Ruins. Whenever either player plays a non-basic dark Pokemon from their hand on their bench, put your damage counters on that Pokemon. All right, so we have a reprint here of the Gapejaw Bog. Kind of. It's not really a reprint, but it's like similar to Gapejaw Bog, right? Where you bench something, they take 2 damage. This card actually will be good with that Crawdon. All right, so I was talking about earlier how that Crawdon didn't have a way to get damage on it, but no, you can bench the Corphish, which is a water Pokemon, which would then activate the Dangerous Ruins, and then you would go Crawdon. All right, Crawdon's actually not bad then, but yeah, not a bad Stadium. I guess you play this with, like, Mega Absol too, obviously, for some more damage manipulation. This does work with Monkey Dory, so you can bench Monkey Dory, and then you can freely use Adrenaline Brain for a turn, which is kind of cool. So not a bad card to have. Definitely not a terrible stadium. We'll see if it sees any play. Again, it's kind of good with Monkey Dory. All right, now we got the Mega Symphonia cards here, which I think is the one that had the other Mega Evolutions we hadn't seen yet. All right, so we got new Tangrowth here. Bulky Whip does 120 damage. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy on it, you do 140 more damage. So it's what? 260 damage. Doesn't need a lot of energy, though, which is kind of the problem. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can maybe play with, like, Mega Venusaur to move the energy around, but I don't know. I mean, this is stage 1 that can do decent damage. Don't get me wrong, but I'm, like, very iffy on it. It's kind of mid. All right, what isn't mid, though, is this new Meganium with Wild Growth. Each basic grass energy attached to your Pokemon provides double grass energy. That doesn't say the text on Pokebeach, but that is what this ability does. You can see the grass. It's the same thing as the Jungle Totem Venusaur. There's another Pokemon in the format that had a similar ability to this. But yeah, it doubles the energy on, which is really cool. It's like the Pokemon Go Charizard, right? Which is cool. So definitely not a bad ability. I do think it'll see play. It's actually pretty good with, like, Teal Mask Ogerpon, because that can stack the grass energy on it with its ability, and then it doubles it, which is kind of cool. So Meganium's actually pretty good. For grass decks, I like it. Grass, I mean, is pretty good right now, but gets even better with Meganium. I like the Meganium. This new Shuckle's interesting. Ferment Juice. Once you return to this Pokemon has any grass energy on it, you can use the ability, heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. I mean, it's fine. Healing 30 isn't terrible. It's like Monkey Dory in that regards, right? Where you put a specific energy on it, you can remove damage off of a Pokemon. Shuckle's okay. I think Monkey Dory is a better card than Shuckle. So the thing is, like, you'd rather just play Monkey Dory over playing Shuckle, right? I guess, like, in some situations, if your opponent has more monkeys in play than you do, technically the 30 damage you move off gets put back on you anyways. So, like, technically Shuckle's better in that way, but I think Monkey's just a better card. All right. Shedinja we've seen. We got the Delmise, or the Ninjask we've seen already, but then we got this Delmise here. Earth and Power. 30 damage. If you have a stadium in play, you do 50 more damage. 80 damage. Not very good. All right, new Pyroar with the ability Intimidating Fang. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks do 30 less damage. And then you got the attack Searing Flame to do 70 and then burn your opponent. There's ways to manipulate the burn damage with, like, Magmortar, but I don't think this Pyroar is very good, unfortunately. All right, we got a new Centiskorch here with the attack Coiling Crush. 50 damage. You flip 2 coins for each head to discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Kind of cool, I guess, for energy removal. Heat Crawler does 4 for 140. Pretty mediocre Centiskorch, though, in my opinion. I think the other Centiskorches are probably just better. We have a brand new Chi-Yu here with Scorched Earth. 40 damage. If your opponent has a stadium in play, you discard it. If you discard a stadium this way, during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any stadiums from their hand. So I guess it's, like, kind of cool, but I don't really think there's any deck that, like, cares about that. Like, the only deck maybe is, like, an Area 0 deck, right? But, yeah, pretty mid card. Also, 40 damage is, like, not very strong either. New Mantine here. Search check for 2 base Pokemon. Put them on your bench. Call for Familiar. 1 10 HP. It's cool, but I don't think the Mantine will see much play. What might see some play here, though, is Mega Abomasnow. So, yeah, we didn't get a Mega Abomasnow during the X and Y block, so Pokemon are making up for that by finally giving us a Mega Abomasnow. So is it good? Well, it's a Stage 1 Pokemon with a whopping 350 HP, which is crazy. So yeah, it's got the attack Avalanche Hammer for 2 water energy. You do 100 damage, discard the top 6 cards of your deck, stacked as 100 damage for each basic water energy discarded in this way. Not a bad little attack. If you can obviously play a ton of energy in the deck, you can have a high odds of actually doing, like, potentially 300 to 400 damage with this attack. Which is cool. You can play with Energy Recycler, and then you got the attack Frost Barrier for 3 water, 200 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Even that second attack doesn't seem bad. You can play this with, like, Baxcalibur, and then you can technically give the Abomasnow 380 HP with the attack and the HP that it has. Combine that with, like, Hero Escape or something, you can almost have a 500 HP Mega Abomasnow. I don't hate this card. I don't think it's terrible. It's kind of mediocre overall. Like, I'm not going to say this card's going to be, like, meta-defining or anything, but it's a fun little deck, and obviously Avalanche Hammer can make for some fun content. Nothing too crazy, though, but it is a pretty beefy boy. Like, 350 HP is kind of crazy. All right. We got a brand new Clawlitzer here with the ability Reverse and Reload. Once during turn, and when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may use the ability to attach up to 2 basic water energy from your hand to this Pokemon. So it can build itself up like Yanmega. It's kind of like Yanmega EX, right? And then you got the attack Aqua Launcher does 210 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon. Solid numbers, play with, like, Brave Bangle to, like, one-shot bigger basics. You have a decent way to put energy on it with, like, Switch plus, like, Energy Retrieval. You have yourself a fun little one-prize deck. All right. We've seen this new Inteleon line. New Frostmoth here with Icy Fluttering. Does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Your opponent's active is now asleep. So spread plus sleep is kind of funny, but nothing too crazy, obviously, but it's kind of cool. New Ice Cube here, Freezing Headbutt, 20, and then Paralysis and a Coin Flip. Okay. All right, new Magneton into a new Magnezone with Upper Spark for 1 Light Energy. Does 50 damage. If this Pokemon evolved from Magneton this turn, you do 120 more damage. And then you got Flashing Bolt, 2 Lightning for 160, and then it can't use Flashing Bolt next turn. It's, like, fine. I don't think this is, like, going to go into, like, any Miraidon deck. I mean, I guess you could if you want to, like, counter Crustle, I guess, but kind of mid overall, I want to say. Well, new One Prize Raikou here. We haven't had a One Prize Raikou in a little bit, I don't think. It's got Electric Fall, 30 damage. If you have at least 4 Light Energy in play, the attack does 90 more damage. So if you have, 4 Lightning on the board, this Pokemon does 120 for 2. It's cool, I guess. You could play it in a Miraidon deck, right? But I don't know if you'd want to play it over any other attacker. But it's, like, cool, I guess. It's, like, nothing too crazy, though. All right. We got a new Mega Manectric. Now, Mega Manectric, in my opinion, was one of the best Mega Evolutions from the X and Y era. Can the new Mega Manectric stand up to the old Mega Manectric? Well, let's take a look. So, it's got the attack Flash Ray, 2 Light Energy, 120 damage. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. Pretty strong attack. When you're against, like, Raging Bolt, that's pretty good. Then you got Riot Blaster for 3 Light Energy, 200 damage. You may discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, just 130 more damage. So you can do 330 damage with that second attack, which is going to knock out a lot of Pokemon, even opposing Megas. This is a Lightning type, so you can play it with Magneton. You can play it with Electric. You can play it with Generator. Yeah, I think this card is actually really good. Both attacks are very, very powerful. Flash Ray specifically will be good against stuff like Raging Bolt. Obviously, they can counter it with, like, Prime Catcher, but they'll keep in mind Mega Man does have 330 HP, so it is quite bulky compared to Noivern. And then, obviously, Riot Blaster is a great attack to, like, close out a game. It can knock out a Charizard EX, which is nice. Actually, it will help a lot against Miraidon's Charizard matchup, because you can use it as a way to one-shot Charizard. Is this just better than playing Zekrom at that point? I don't know. You do discard all the energy from it, but Mega Manectric does have a free retreat cost, which is also pretty bananas. So, yeah, I think this card is actually pretty powerful. Definitely one of the better Megas, I think, from the set. I think Mega Man will see quite a bit of play. I think it's pretty powerful, and it's nice that we have another playable Mega Manectric EX in the format. I'm pretty hype on that, because Mega Manectric was one of my favorite Megas from that era. It was also one of the best Megas from that era, so I'm very happy they made another solid Mega Manectric card. All right. New Pachirisu, 10 damage. During your opponent's next turn, whenever your opponent plays energy from the hand of defending Pokemon, put 8. Oh, I think we've already seen this card. I'm trolling. We've already read this card a while back in a past video. Helios isn't good. We've seen the Alakazam line. This new Jinx we've seen already. We do have a new Gardevoir. Obviously, the new Mega Gardevoir. This card's going to be pretty busted, potentially, with already the existing Gardevoir EX. We've seen the Shinx. We do have, or Shedinja, sorry. We do have a brand new Grumpig here. Energy Step. Once your turn, when you place Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use the ability, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, attach any number of basic energy you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. Pretty good ability. Energy Excel on an ability is always good. It is kind of a gamble, though. It's only 4 cards. You don't get to see that many cards. If you play a lot of energy in the deck, this can hit. I guess there are cards in the meta that can, like, manipulate your top deck to guarantee energy, I guess, but it's kind of mediocre. It is a stage 1, so it's not as bad as, like, some of the stage 2s with the abilities like this, but it's kind of mid. All right. New Xerneas, Geogate, search check for 3 basic psychic Pokemon and put them on your bench. Bright Horns, 120 damage. Okay. Nothing to write home about on this guy, unfortunately. We got a brand new Houndstone here. Horror Bite, 30 damage. Flip a coin to get tails. For each has, choose a random card to your opponent's hand, and then they put that into their deck and shuffle it back in. Some hand disruption is kind of cool, but again, you're not really probably going to play this card, even with like Xerosic Machinations and Roxanne and Stamp. Mega Latios, we've already seen. Yeah, we've seen all this. Where's Mega Latias? Wait. That's Latias? Wait, isn't that Latios? Okay, I'm trolling, because I'm tripping. I'm trolling. Because, like, I don't know, whatever. I thought this was a Latios. I guess not. I don't know. No, whatever. Anyways, let's just move on. New Mega Kangaskhan. We've seen this guy already. This guy... Okay, I'm not going to lie. In the video that I just posted on this card a few days ago, I underestimated how good it actually is. This is a good card to have in, like, big basic decks, right? Like, any deck with Latias will play it because you use Latias to give it a free retreat cost. This card does work with Bouffalant, which is really good too, so it technically does have the ability to pair with Bouffalant. I still just think the attack is just too mediocre for it to actually be that good. The thing that holds it back is the attack. I think the attack just kind of sucks, because there's no way to reflip coins. If there's a way to reflip coins, maybe this card would be a little bit better. That's my issue with it. I think it is decent, though. I maybe underestimated how good it is in that video, but I still think it's, like, not the best card ever. So its ability is probably going to be the main reason why it sees play. Got a new Delibird, fast gift. You go first, use the ability, search check for a card, put in your hand. It's a cool attack, but I don't think it's worth playing for the setup, right? We got a new Lopunny here. Unfortunately, it's not very playable. We might get a Mega Lopunny, though, at some point. Who knows? New Beware here. Pretty mid. All right, Suspicious Clock, new item card here. De-evolve one of your evolved psychic Pokemon by returning any number of evolution cards on it into your hand. So this is kind of cool. I guess this is what you would play with the Grumpig we looked at, where you would de-evolve it. I can't think of any other Pokemon that would be good with. I guess there's that Alakazam line that draws you cards, so that could be kind of cool. It's not a bad card. It's like Devolution Spray, and that was like a pretty decent card, right? So maybe this will see a little bit of play, as it does kind of do something similar to like Devo Spray, which was playable. Ace Roll's Mischief, we've seen. Wally's Compassion, we've seen already. All right, this is a pretty broken card, Lush Forest. So Forest Giant Plants is a very infamous stadium card that got banned for a reason, and this card is pretty much like a reprint of it, almost. Each player's grass Pokemon can evolve into another grass Pokemon during the turn they play this Pokemon. However, you can't evolve basic Pokemon during their first turn. So the idea with this card is you can use it like Force Giant Plants. However, you can't use it going first. So, like, the problem with Force Giant Plants is it would allow you to go into Decidueye GX and Vileplume on your first turn going first, before your opponent even got to play the game, meaning you would immediately item lock them, and you would get out these big Stage 2 Pokemon that are spreading damage. That deck was very powerful. That was a broken deck from back in the day. This Stadium card is basically Force Giant Plants. They just nerfed it so you can't use it going first. And also, yeah, it's basically like, it's like Grand Tree in a way, right? Where it's like you have to wait a turn after you bench the Pokemon. It's a decent nerf. I don't think it's as problematic. I mean, you can use it to get out Mega Venusaur, which is kind of crazy, and you can use it to get out the Meganium I just looked at. But at the end of the day, these type of cards are a little scary to have in the game. We'll have to see if Pokemon... I don't think they're going to print Vileplume again, where you item lock both players. I'm trying to think of Grass Stage 2 Pokemon. Like, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. There's Meowscarada EX, which I guess could play this. That's a cool upgrade to Meowscarada. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see this card. I don't know. It definitely will be good. Definitely a very powerful card. And obviously, more grass Pokemon come out over the years. This card will always be good. We'll have to see. Yeah, I don't think Pokemon are going to reprint Vileplume or Decidueye, though, so don't worry about that. But it's interesting that they kind of brought back Forest Giant Plants, which is ridiculous in my opinion. Pretty broken card, for sure. A new stadium, Surfing Beach. Once during each player's turn, that player may switch their active water Pokemon with one of the bench water Pokemon. This could be kind of cool within that Clawlitzer deck, I guess. What other water Pokemon could be good with? Palafin EX actually could play this. Plays with Palafin EX as a free way to switch it into the active spot. That's kind of cool. All right, another new Stadium Mystery Garden. We've already seen this. Pretty decent card for Gardevoir. Maybe Gardevoir will play this over Artisan. We'll have to see. And that's it, I think, for the new cards, right? We got some new art rares. We got a full art Night Stretcher and a full art Rare Candy. I don't think gold cards are coming back, it looks like. So, yeah, gold cards seem to be gone in favor of these, like, full art type trainers, which is cool. I mean, I'm down to play full art trainers over gold cards any day. But yeah, so those are all the new cards revealed. Mega Manectric looks pretty good. And then obviously we got some new powerful items like the Suspicious Clock, the new Fighting Gong, and then obviously the new Stadium card, Lieutenant Surge, are kind of crazy. Like Lush Forest and Lieutenant Surge, I think are pretty interesting cards for sure. Lush Forest definitely will be good. And it's interesting they brought back Forest Giant Plants in this way. But that'll be for me. If y'all enjoyed the video on these new cards, let me know by leaving a like on the video, and let me know in the comments what you think of these new cards down below. Do you think this Lush Force is good for the game or bad? I'm interested to hear all that in the comment section below. I'll leave a link to Pokebeach if you want to go check out these cards for yourself. And I'll catch you on another video very soon. Bye-bye.